A lot of my influences are folk singers and country singers who are white, and I'm sure that comes through in my music because that's part of my culture. And I feel like, do I seem silly singing folk songs as an Asian American? Is that weird? But that's just who I am. I'm an artist and a songwriter. I paint mostly on wood board with resin and enamel, spray paint, mixed media, kind of whatever I can find and pull together. With music, I mostly play on guitar, acoustic or electric. I went to a really small Christian school growing up. There was definitely an awareness of my differences because I was one of only a small handful of minorities at the small school that I went to. But any conversation or comments or questions from other kids at the school were never mean-hearted. It was more out of curiosity and observance. And then I think I was around 13 and I decided to go to public school, and it was sort of a rude awakening to racism. I had never experienced it before. I didn't have language for it. It wasn't something that we talked about in my home. I just sort of pretended like it wasn't happening and diminished as much as I could that part of my identity. I don't feel like I experienced traditional Asian culture growing up at all. My dad sort of shielded us from that. I didn't have the pressure of academics that a lot of Asian children experience, and like I didn't really fit in one way or the other. For white people, I feel like I'm seen as Asian, and for Asian people, I feel like I'm seen more as white. I grew up in a very creative environment. There was always creative chaos. Both of my parents are artists and musicians. There was just always tools and materials available for us to work creatively. But I didn't really consider that I would be able to do that. I went to school for international affairs. Just wasn't my thing. I just sort of fell into a community of musicians and artists. I was suddenly aware that you could just do what you wanted to do. My dad kept on referring to my situation as me floating and like figuring things out. I felt like my choice wasn't being taken seriously. We were sitting upstairs and I said, I want to be an artist, and I burst into tears because I thought I was going to get a terrible reaction. He said, well, I think that you're really brave, and I wish that I had the courage to make that choice. Any pressure that I had was self-inflicted. I don't think any parent wants their child to struggle and probably wouldn't choose for them to be an artist. I feel much more aware of my Asian identity in music than I do in visual art. When I do approach a stage in a lineup of maybe all white people, I definitely feel Asian. I feel like myself doing something that is extremely natural to me, but I also have in the back of my mind this idea that maybe I look silly, or people being aware of me being different and them focusing on that rather than what I'm sharing. Art is really powerful because it can help you kind of get out of the way of yourself, and I'm thankful for creating because it does that for me. Anytime that you're taking a risk and sharing what you create, it's a journey, and There are periods where it feels like nothing is happening. You have a lot of doubts. And then suddenly something will come along and it gives you a little motivation to keep going. So it's important to surround yourself with people who encourage you that you're doing the right thing. I'm aspiring to be the best person that I can be and to live wholeheartedly, and I hope that inspires other people.